This Dutch underdog. He's such a smart player. I watch him stream often. Love his stream. You guys should follow him at uThermal on Twitter as well as at Fnatic Harstem. Both these guys, good fun to follow and listen to, and very intelligent. In the bottom left here, rocking that purple. It is 80 Gaming's uThermal.
Whew. And in the top right, the pink Protoss. We've seen him already once today. It's Fnatic Harstem.
Gorgeous man. Very, very tall. Hashtag Year of Harstem. It's actually hashtag the year after the Year of Harstem, which is a new hashtag that we'll have to start working out. So we'll see what uThermal's opening is here. I'm just really interested to see his TVP. I haven't seen it in a very long time. So both players is talking about NA server and needing a name change. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've had the pleasure of casting either of these players either. Like maybe a best of one or something ages ago in like a weekly cup on base trade or something. But aside from that, I really can't recall ever having the pleasure of seeing actually a lot of the guys in this tournament. Like we usually don't get to see many NA and EU players.
Yep, I've never casted a lot of these dudes like Kane and I've cast QXC, I believe, at IM Shanghai. But yeah, a lot of these guys haven't cast, and there's a lot of familiar faces in there that we have though.
Yeah, it's pretty
More
awesome.
that we have than we haven't. Oh, look at this, Macarax.
Very cheeky. I wonder if he'll actually scout that, because Harstem hasn't sent out a probe scout yet or anything. If he doesn't scout, he's not going to know about it. And there will be multiple Marines out for fun. We'll see what happens. I suppose there's a point where you don't really care about scouting anymore.
Yeah. Both players would have played each other quite a bit. There was a lot of Dutch Starcraft leagues that uThermal and Harstem have played in together, most of which Harstem has done a little bit better than uThermal. But that's where uThermal kind of made a name for himself. Also in the obviously WCS EU qualifiers, he's always done surprisingly well. And it really shouldn't actually be a surprise anymore if this guy does well. If you don't start following either of these players, you really should start now. They're going to be, if they keep playing, they're going to get pretty far.
Yeah. They're pretty cool personalities as well. They're not like those boring
really
pro
fun.
gamers. It's just like no emotion.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about a lot of European players is they actually, in Europe, when you grow up, you learn English in school, so they're very good at English, and they can and they catch on the jokes, and they actually can relate to you pretty easily. We look like we got a bit of bunker pressure here.
Yeah.
uThermal going to drop a bunker in front of that Nexus and load it up with a couple of Marines, being a little bit of a douchebag.
Bet he's gonna wish he was actually scouting a little bit earlier on to see this. So he could try and pick up the SCV with the Mothership Core, but these Marines are gonna try and stop that from happening. It's already taken a fair bit of damage, shields it down. Yeah, I think he has. So stop that. I don't think he's bringing another SCV, is he?
No, but this is
he
still
actually is.
The second SCV is coming, and this is actually, even if he didn't, this is still a lot of Marines. That Mothership Core really can't engage 3 Marines with this little health.
He needs unit stat, and Stalker did just pop, so he can micro that for infinity years against Marines, but not when they're in a bunker. So that's a bit rough for him. He's going to have a really hard time getting rid of this. In fact, can he? Like, I'm not sure there's a way for him to kill this before it gets rid of the Nexus.
Just needs more units, and that's easier said than done. Photon Overcharge going to help a bit, but there's 2 SCVs still alive. He's target firing the SCVs. Smart here from Harstem. More Marines being rallied.
Oh, and the Stalker goes down.
That's actually really rough. And there's 7 Marines here, so that Nexus is in trouble even if Photon Overcharge goes all the way. And uThermal's felt like, I've got the Nexus now, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
The Nexus, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, there's no point overstaying your welcome once you've gotten what you came for, really, because he's just going to use units that he's probably going to need afterwards. We've got a robo follow-up from Harstem, so he can start getting an Immortal out or whatever.
I strongly believe that Harstem's been put into an awkward position where he's forced to Sentry Immortal all in. Like, it's just...
That's what I would have thought.
That said, the uThermal's put a lot of minerals into this aggression, so it's not like he hasn't been delayed either. Like he's kind of weak at home in defense, because his only bunker on the map is offensive. So
Yeah. He could still hit a nice push. He's actually coming back for round 2. He's going for the Immortal, and that's going to help out against the bunker. But we're still very Marine heavy, and he's coming back to see what else he might be able to do here. Maybe delay any other expansion even further. And with the Colossi coming up, that will probably be what eventually pushes this back. But
yeah, I mean, one
show
Immortal
his
isn't
hand.
going to help against Marines. It'll help against the bunkers for sure, but not against Marines. But we can see that is probably going to be the last Immortal that Harstem makes this game, is going straight into Colossus Tech, which are obviously, amazing against Marines. But one Colossus without Thermal Lance isn't incredible. It'll help a lot. But Harstem here is just trying to regain his natural. uThermal's really got a chokehold on Harstem's natural here. Even just the one bunker, putting pressure on.
Yeah, absolutely. When that Colossus pops, he will be able to kind of park it on the ridge there and try and sizzle any Marines that are sitting there. But he's already headed home, recognizing that this is probably what's going to happen. He's having a hard enough time against the Stalkers anyway, so he should probably try and send these Marines home. Yeah, there we go. And now he's just going to be wary of like a push with this unit composition
Actually,
from Harstem.
he hasn't seen the Colossus, I think. So this might catch him a little bit unawares, but I'm sure he's felt this counterattack before. Harstem moving across the map and not a whole lot at home for uThermal. He's created. He's starting to make bunkers at home. He's making Marauders, which is going to help a lot, and Stim is going to finish in time. That's very important for the Terran here. Without Stim, he will die. He needs it to hold. Bunkers going down, a little bit awkward. The SCVs can't really get full coverage on those. They will be a little bit late to the party anyway. Looks like Harstem's going to... Oh, well, the push has been detected by the Marine on the watchtower, so... Is Harstem going to start? Yes, he's start pressuring already. The SCV's already pulled. Stim is now finished.
Yeah, he's just got to survive. That's really all he needs to do. He's got the starport just finishing, so he's going straight into Vikings, having identified that Colossus as it went past the watchtower earlier. And this is a sticky position for Harstem. Still a scary force, but with 3 bunkers, Stim, like you mentioned, and the starport finishing, I don't think he can actually break through here.
Yeah, when the medevacs, well, not even medevacs, the Vikings are come out, and there's not anti-air. I mean, the sentries to me don't really count as anti-air. They technically are, but this factory also messes with the AI as well. He can't actually just A-move. They will just shoot the factory.
Yeah, he's buying a fair bit of time with these bunkers. Going in for the repair again. Looks like the bunker will go down. Nice force field.
Yeah, the first force field denying the repair there. Stim Marines and Marauders getting a little bit low in health, doing a lot of damage with the Stalkers on the ground. A warp in a Stalker is actually going to help a lot against these Vikings, but they do get the Colossus. And the Colossus was the meat and potatoes behind this attack, so uThermal really just took the punch out of that attack.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, Harstem's macro behind this has been very good, constantly producing probes, so he's actually just a couple ahead of the Terran player at the moment. So, he's stabilized quite well. He's not looking too bad at home. Shame he lost the Colossi, but there's always more where that came from, too. And, uThermal can probably look towards a third base, maybe some extra racks, and perhaps some perks. I mean, he's got his medevacs out now, so he could try for some drops. Just keep his opponent honest while he continues his own macro back at home.
Yep, I feel like, definitely needs to be locked down in Harstemville. He's lost map control to the Terran. He can't really go out and be aggressive anymore. The Terran can drop. The Terran can take the towers again. He's got a couple of Vikings as well still on the map. And it looks like Harstem is probably going to try and gear towards his favorite here, which is the Charge Lot Archon Templar sort of composition. It's a little bit interesting because he's already made Colossus Tech, but I mean, even if it's just Colossus and Charge Lots, that's amazing against Bio anyway, but there is already Viking production and a starport, and uThermal is all about the Colossus, obviously.
Definitely, and uThermal's going to be wanting to see what the composition actually is right now, because there's no point churning out Vikings if there's no Colossi, so he needs to make sure he's adjusting his composition accordingly, having enough beefy units in there to deal with these ground units.
There's going to be, looks like possibly a drop in the main here.
Yeah, he's looking for it.
The factory looking for that, if there's any kind of third nexus or anything like that. Factory actually dropping. Is he going to make anything with this? Actually, Harstem is confirmed to be going Templar Tech, so I don't think we'll be seeing any more Colossus here.
No, not for a while. Not until he decides he wants to go for a tech switch.
Scan. That scan.
Oh, very nice.
He's completely aware. He's going to... Yeah, it looks like he's pulling some more units here. He wants to hit a timing before Storm becomes a factor.
Yeah, and that's a really smart idea. The Ob sees it too, so he's already warping in more units, warping in some Templar, can try and make some Archons for the defense. Going for the third base at the same time, but of course, uThermal's going to be well aware of this and might go in for the cancel on that before he goes for any other sort of push towards that army.
Oh yes. So, got Harstem moving out here, dealing with this factory that's just been dropped, but no big dramas there. uThermal is in position, loading up a drop.
Oh, it's actually going to... Oh, not quite go past the observer, so he might have actually just snuck that through the lines.
Yeah, I think he has.
Okay, sees it last minute.
Oh, the feedback there nearly gets the medevac, but not quite. So these units aren't long for this world, but it's keeping Harstem away from the third a little bit, but uThermal's attack isn't in time, so this Nexus is actually quite safe for now.
Yeah.
And Storm will finish. With that scan, though, he dropped that armory. He dropped a Ghost Academy, and 3 Ghosts are actually about to pop now. So he's going to be very, very prepared for the follow-up for the late game of Protoss. As Harstem's upgrades really aren't that impressive, with 2-2 on the way for uThermal. Harstem just now getting armor.
Yeah, he's got +1 armor, and that's it. So uThermal still has an advantage here. He still has a window to try and do some damage. There's not that many Templar out with a lot of energy yet, so he could still make this work. He just has to juke any storms that come down and be very careful about how he's positioning his army. This is a bit of an awkward spot to attack into, so he may not want to commit at all, just keep threatening like he has been.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough.
Keep Harstem off his back.
I like that he's getting the rocks here. The more paths that he can get, the better.
Yeah, it's cool by Harstem as well, sending just a couple of zealots around, because he knows that all of uThermal's forces are up here at the front. So you may as well go behind him and see if you can do anything. As I say that, okay, he does have some rings.
Yeah, uThermal is far too intelligent. This is why I'm a fan of this guy. He is all over the ball. He's like, what's the next step? And then he prepares for it before it even happens.
Yeah. Being one step ahead of your opponent is certainly one way to win. Harstem's defense so far has been quite good, though. He's been very on top of what's happening on the map. He's going to see this double drop come in, but whether or not he's paying attention to the mini-map right now is a different story.
Oh, well, he's got to pull all his units back to the 30s. He's cutting his army in half, bringing some forces home to deal with this drop while coming back to the third, because he knows that's exactly what uThermal's trying to do here. And uThermal scans ahead, decides not to attack the third Nexus after all. And this drop's actually, well, it killed the Colossus den, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Harstem was going to make Colossus anyway. I don't know why it's so hard to talk before midday. It really is difficult.
The MP! Oh, it hit everything. Oh my goodness, I don't think he has anything left.
No, everything's been... There's 2 Templar here coming down from the natural, and one of them has a storm.
Ooh,
down it goes, actually a very nice storm.
Yeah, okay, there's a few more Templar in there, so he's kept enough storms to keep this army at bay for now. And the drops had continued a little bit. He ended up mowing down only 3 workers throughout this entire game, so that didn't get too much done apart from getting the Colossus tech. So that's kind of more of an annoyance than anything major at this point, because he'll have to remake that at some point when he wants to tech switch.
Medevac's trying to go into the main, but the observers from Harstem are so important. They've seen every single drop attempt here from uThermal, and they're pulling back to the third as well. Harstem and uThermal are just preparing for each other one step at a time. They're so good at fighting each other.
Yeah, this is a pretty sick dance back and forth here between these guys, trying to find ways to do damage. One medevac goes down.
The second medevac had just escaped.
Woo! Oh my gosh. That poor medevac. That is so low. He probably needs to send that home. I'll be a little bit disappointed if he tries to drop that again, because it'll die in one hit. But it looks like he's finally flushed out of Harstem territory. And he has to go home, regroup, get some more ghosts, and see what his next move is.
Going for 3-3 already. Harstem still in Tier 2 town with those upgrades. Colossus Den being remade. What?
Yep. Well, it's good to have the option. Can always have... can never have too much splash against the Terran army, that's for sure.
I guess not. Well, is that the point of the game? When you have this many Nexus and you're gearing up for a 4th, you can definitely make Colossus and Templar. You absolutely afford that. Second Forge just now going down.
He really wants to catch up to those upgrades. I mean, uThermal's going to have a really nice window with that 3-3 coming in. He's already ready to be aggressive again on this map. Keep posturing, keep pushing him back.
Templar.
Yeah, actually, is that...
He actually only has 1.
Where are the rest of them? He must have left them somewhere.
They'd be defensive, definitely, to feedback. Oh, yeah, they come. They're coming down now because he's seen that the army of uThermal is pretty much all here, so he definitely wants to have as much splash damage as possible. This is actually a little bit awkward for the Terran. Needs to be careful here. He's within storm range. One storm going down.
Yeah, doesn't really do anything there. The ghosts come up.
The EMPs on the Templar that are all covered. There's actually 2 Templar at the back that have storms. 1 storm going down.
I think, is that the empty storms?
I think that's it.
Uh-oh.
uThermal can now punish this.
Harstem is in big trouble. This is a lot of Terran. He has no splash. He's making 2 Colossi at a time. They're going to pop out just in time for this defense. But whether or not they can join up with the main army is another question. In fact, one's going to get targeted down straight away by a big fire. Templar falls as well.
That Templar had enough for a storm. He needed a storm so badly. The Colossus are out now. But he's just getting Thermal Lance right now. He doesn't have Thermal Lance.
Oh, no. Oh, maybe it actually got cancelled when he was making it earlier. I'm not sure if he was even started it. But the third base. Uh-oh. It does fall. And he's, he might actually have to pull out here in a sec. He doesn't... Okay, never mind. He actually does still have a lot of bio left over. Probes now falls 2.
There we go. Thermal Lance halfway done, but everything's been EMP'd, Zeph. And uThermal now coming in for the stim for the win.
Oh yeah, this is just gonna get absolutely demolished. GG.
Oh.
Very nice game. Damn.
Ooh.